Let me be really transparent and vulnerable for a minute. I am a recovering people pleaser, and I'm constantly recovering. And I found myself not too long ago driving home from the hospital. For those of you who have children, have you driven home from the hospital after having a baby? You know how slow that drive is. You're like the best obeyer of all the traffic rules. You go way below the speed limit. You stop way ahead of the stop signs because you got precious cargo in the back. And I was driving home from the hospital as well, driving really slow. You see, I just had my son, but I was driving slow because I didn't want to go home. I was driving in my car with an empty car seat in the back. And I was heading to a home where I started to unravel into the deepest depression that I had ever experienced. You see, I'd lost my son. I had to leave the hospital, all the signs of having a baby, but no baby. And as we know, when we go through these painful times, or what we call as our rock bottom, which I really loved his talk yesterday where he talked about pain is our invitation to our greatness. And that was my invitation into my greatness. And I was unraveling, but things kept following deeper and deeper as they all happen, right? Just you keep hitting more and more rock bottoms, and I started unraveling things in my relationship. I started unraveling so many things within myself, and found myself, and I won't go into that story, single mother, $47 to my name that me and my daughters found in cupboards, drawers, cushions, sleeping on the floor, tinfoil to hold the antenna up so that we could get PBS, because Big Red Dog saved my bacon in the morning. And that's not so hard, the financial. What was hard was truly not seeing that I was going to be my truest, fullest expression, wondering if I was ever going to rise up and be who I really wanted to be, wondering if this was my lot in life. And what this led for me, this greatest gift for me, is it led me on a journey. It led me on a journey of really uncovering these ancient forms and modalities of healing. And I am like you, I am so fascinated with healing foods that have been going on for centuries that tribal people are using, and how do we bridge this into our modern society? How do we take these really ancient ceremonies and bring them back into our mainstream and into our day? We get so scared by ceremony, we're so scared to crack our hearts open. And I'm gonna let you start playing the video as I talk on this. So I started getting invited into these indigenous tribes where people don't get invited, especially blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls. And I went into Mayan jungles, sat in circle with what they would call their healers. Some words they would use is shaman. I got invited into Costa Rica to different healers that you wouldn't even really hear about, learning about different modalities of healing. And more importantly, these foods that they're using on a daily basis, and they've been using back in BC. And I remember sitting in ceremony, we're in a circle, and I think it's really beautiful that a lot of you are in circle, as they handed me this dark elixir, which they called the Elixir of the Gods. And I remember drinking that, setting an intention. Ceremony wasn't like all this over-the-top audacious stuff. It was just intention. It was community. It was love. And I drank it and I felt a cellular shift. I certainly felt more awake in the brain. I felt my heart starting to crack open. I was feeling a lot of love. I'm like, what is this? So I dived headfirst into learning about sacred ceremonial grade cacao. And I want to tell you from a scientific level what we're finding about this amazing, amazing superfood. And even superfood is getting overused, right? We hear superfoods everywhere. Like Dave said, kale was superfood. But what we know about raw ceremonial grade cacao is it's actually different than just raw cacao. So raw ceremonial grade cacao is how they've been doing it in indigenous tribes for centuries. And that is taking the bean pod and laying it out into the sun and letting the sun literally kiss it and heat it up. We're now taking these bean pods and putting them in factories and slowly roasting them to call it raw. But ceremonial grade is literally letting the sun kiss it. And I was so fascinated by that. How can we take these indigenous modalities that are so genius, as they're in their genius, and bring it into our lives? And then I learned even more about raw cacao, right? We're finding out that the raw, now I'm only talking raw, which is totally different than cacao, or cocoa, right? Cocoa, even if it's organic cocoa, is stripped of over 300 phytonutrients. And these phytonutrients, flavonols, help with increased brain activity, scientifically proven. They're helping people even with Alzheimer's. We're noticing that even the elderly that consume raw cacao, their cognitive abilities are going up. This is why my business, my life totally changed when I started doing this 2.5 years ago. I could sit down and drink some cacao and literally crank out. I was like, whoa, this ADD girl is like on fire. This is amazing. And then what I started learning that even just blew my mind more is about this theobromine that it contains, which is really increasing the blood flow in your body. And so that's where it gets that aphrodisiac term. There's the blood flow of the brain, right, to increase cognitive ability, but blood flow everywhere else, which increases pleasure in other areas of the body. And then anandamide. Now, there's only 2 foods that we know in the world that contain anandamide. Now, anandamide is the bliss molecule, and it is what is expressed in the body during lovemaking. It's what's expressed in the body when you're experiencing extreme amounts of euphoria. That molecule is released. And when you consume raw cacao, it releases that anandamide in your system. That's why people can actually open up, connect with themselves, their genius, with one another and themselves. So this amazing superfood, I was like, the mainstream needs to hear about this. Can we bring this ceremony of intention setting back into our lives? So I would meditate on this because I didn't know how to bring a superfood to the world. And I remember feeling really strongly that it actually needed to be married with other superfoods, that it really wanted to be combined with other superfoods. That as I was going into different indigenous tribes, I'd find that some of them would throw turmeric in there. And some of them lucuma and mesquite, which you guys, learning about a little bit of lucuma and mesquite, lucuma actually brings out this almost like sweetness to the cacao. And they're loaded with B vitamins, and they create a lot of energy, and it's grown down in South America. And then obviously they threw a little bit of raw honey in there, some cinnamon, a little cayenne at times, and I was like, wow, what can I throw in there that's really gonna help people that are really trying to take their health to the next level? So I started in my own kitchen just playing around with MCT oil, playing around with turmeric, of course, lucuma, mesquite, cinnamon, adding sea salt, all organic, really high quality. And I was watching as my depression, even my acne, all of the different modalities in my life just increasing, for serving it to my kids, noticing them just accelerate in school. And then I just shared it with my community. I gave them the formula. I was like, make this. And I was getting tons and tons of testimonials around, and I can't claim it, but depression, psoriasis, focus, cognitive ability. And I knew I had to help bring this to the world. And so I'm so grateful for an amazing team because we created Cacao Bliss, which is ceremonial grade Peruvian raw cacao infused with all those superfoods, all organic, high quality. And for those of you who have ever created a product, you have to go another level to really truly get high grade ingredients. Got to stay in that integrity of your genius, of your fullest, truest expression, to make sure you're staying true to that and not just trying to go too quick. So my intention for you guys today is to invite you, now that you've drinking it, because what it also does is helps you tap into deeper, more profound meditation. Your focus is enhanced without the jitter of coffee. And I have to tell you, because all of you are going to be really happy about this, when we started this and I was mixing this elixir, I was mixing it with coffee. And then, of course, I'd heard about bulletproof, so I'd add like butter in there, and I was like, whoa, like this is, and I love it because you guys have already drank bulletproof coffee, most of you, and now you have this cacao bliss in your system, and it's really going to accelerate as we know, coffee is like a direct conduit into the cells. So when we add these superfoods, it's like bam, right into the cells. So it's going to take us into a deeper meditation, and I want to take you into your heart. I want to take you to a place within your mind, because I truly believe when we can truly see is when our eyes are closed. And I invite you to step into this meditation, into this visualization, and not be scared, but really own it. And to unravel into the truth of who you are, your essence, your love, your vibrancy. So I'm going to have them turn off the video. I'm going to invite all of you to stand up. And I'd like to have you raise your hand for a minute if you're willing to play full out for just the next 5 to 7 minutes. Because if you're not, then no need to stand. You don't have to follow the crowd. But if you're willing to step into something new for yourself, go ahead and put your hand down. I invite you to just bring your palms out for a minute, be in your own space. Make sure you have a little space from your chair or someone so you feel comfortable. If I ask you to turn around, you can. So go ahead and just close your eyes. Go ahead and play the music. And I want you to just feel comfortable within yourself. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to get rid of any thoughts. Just be for a minute. And I invite you to just breathe into your belly for a moment. A lot of us breathe into our chest, but I invite you to breathe all the way into the bottom of your belly, filling it up. And then slowly exhaling it out all the way out. Do that breath one more time, filling in your belly as much as you can. And then letting it all out. Relaxing your shoulders. I want you to just continue to breathe and just and I want you to think about something that brings so much joy to you. Is it someone that you know? Is it a pet? Is it an experience? Something you're so grateful for that's just so easy to love. And bring it into your mind's eye. So right between the two, space between your eyes, just bring that memory, that feeling right there. And just hold on to it. See what you need to see. Feel it. Experience it. And I want you to take that visual that you have and bring it down the back of your throat, down your chest, down your arms, almost into the palm of your hands. And I want you to take that same visual again of that person or thing or place that you absolutely love and put yourself there. Are you hugging them? Are you touching them? Are you laying there? What are you doing? And just take it back into your mind's eye again. Just seeing it, experiencing it. Let it wash over you as you bring it down your throat, down your chest, down your arms, into the cup of your hands. And now I want you to take a minute and think about that one dream that you have. That one thing you would like to do or experience or be. And And I just want you to go there for a minute, not being afraid, to go there, to just let it be, experience it for a moment, taste it, see it, feel it. And put it right there between your eye space and your mind. And just see yourself doing it or being it, experiencing it. What are you doing? What are you wearing? Now bring it down your throat, down your chest, down your arms, and to the cup of your hands. And then I want you to now think about all the ancestors that have come before you. I want you to think about maybe even loved ones that have passed on. And I want you to imagine they're behind you. They're all just stacked up, thousands of them behind you. They've all come before you and they've left. But they're all behind you. I want you to keep your eyes closed and slowly turn around. Slowly turn your body around. And now you're facing all those people, all the people in your lineage, and they're looking at you. They're smiling. Some of them are crying. They're so proud of you. They've paved so many ways for you to be here. They love you. And they just go back and back and back. There are so many of them. And they're all behind you. They know your dream. They know your essence. And they're there. And I want you to look at them and feel them. Have you turn around slowly, keeping your eyes closed. Take a big deep breath in, and then slowly exhale it out. In the cup of your hand, you have love, you have your dream, and behind you, you have your ancestors and the people who have passed on with you every moment. And in a moment, as you take one last deep breath in, try to remember that remembrance, breathing in. And one last exhale out, releasing it all. Go ahead and slowly start to come back to this space. Opening your eyes. And we're human beings. And yes, we're on a journey. It feels like we're alone, but we're actually so connected. And I invite, if you guys are open, because I believe you guys truly want to be open, because you wouldn't be here learning the information you are and being prodded and prodded. I would actually love for you to grab the hand of the person next to you and see if we can make sure everyone has a hand. Yeah, it can look a little different, but just see if you can find a hand. And even if it's a threesome, make it a threesome. Yeah, thank you. And just take a moment, and the person to your left, I want you to send them that love just with your mind. Just send them as much love as possible. The best will, the best good wishes, as much love as you can. And now, let's shift that to the person to our right. Just send them so much love. Letting them know they can do it, that you want them to be their truest, fullest expression of who they are, that you believe in them. One big deep breath in, collectively together, inhaling in, and then let it out. Thank you guys for joining me, being so open, sending you all my love. I believe in you. Thank you.